Feed that piggy bank. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Hey, over here.
What?
Right here, on the side of the house.
Who said that?
Look down. I'm right at your feet.
Wait, the basketball?
Yes, the basketball. Right down here, where the kids left me a long time ago. Man, you know how lonely it is being a ball and not being able to bounce or roll?
Excuse me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You said, now kids, you have no excuse not to go outside and play.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I'll miss flying through the air and hearing the shouts of joy when I swish through the basket. What do you say? Could you give me a little air and remind the kids of how fun I still am?
Okay. Oh, wow. You are flat.
Easy, I'm ticklish. Let's get bouncing.
As Native American parents and caregivers, our encouragement to healthy lifestyles for our kids is helping them get outside and play. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov/Indian Country. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the sports jock, Wayne Gandy.
I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it. Stop blowing my buzz, quit killing it. So buy another round and try to shut us down about an hour ago, but we still in this.
The Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. As we just reported at the bottom of the hour, Lakers owner Jerry Buss has passed away at the tender age of 79. He was born in 1933. He's been the owner of the Lakers since 1979. He bought the team from Jack Kent Cooke for about $68 million. Most of you, if you watch Forbes magazine, follow it. The Lakers last year was valued at $1 billion. And for you that might not have went past the third grade, if you can buy something for $68 million and 30 years later it's $1 billion, you are a genius.
Hold on, I'm carrying the one. And this is zero.
You have turned this team into a franchise. I'm quite sure if you wrote down a list of owners, and you have to give him kudos, Big Kenny Crazy.
Times two.
You would put him on the list of the great owners of any sports franchise, because the one thing you knew about the Lakers in their tenure, that Jerry Buss was going to make some moves to be competitive.
I did that math.
He was not. You did that math.
Yeah, and $68 million, and now it's worth $1 billion equals a whole lot of money.
but do you know that at that time he bought, not only did he buy the Lakers, he bought the Kings and the Forum for that $67.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah, he bought all that.
That's what
the former owner must have been on drugs or something. Man, I give you all this. Just give me $5 for it, player. Come on, man. Just
and when you start doing that, you realize that $68 million in '79 was probably equivalent to about $250 million now.
Yeah.
He's one of his first draft picks with Magic Johnson, and we all know that story. And they won championships, owned basically the 80s. He retooled in the 90s with Shaq and Kobe. And it's just like I'm saying, I applaud him, first of all, because as a man of any race, of any nationality, anything going on, to live 80 years, that's kind of a mark that most men have. We don't, we don't think 90. We kind of think, well, if I can get to 80, I did all right. So
just until if I can get to, I need Viagra.
Right.
I've lived long enough.
And until recently, they always showed you Jerry Buss in a healthy way. So it wasn't like he was what they call it, spry. He was a spry kind of man, even in his older years. And just what owner he was, and the bell cow of the NBA, I would say the Lakers are, as far as, as you see, they always making moves. And they have to be one of the top 3 teams if you ever wanted to play for. the Lakers, the Knicks, probably the Celtics, those kind of teams where people really want to go and shine. Tala, you had a question?
No, more of a comment.
Okay.
It was just that his start was that of it's not questionable. Now, that's not what I'm saying, but it is kind of funny when you think about it. He started as a chemist, and then he got into real estate. And then from that real estate career, he was able to do so many great things and make those purchases and all of that. But it's just so funny when you look at when people go to that rags to riches thing and they talk about the hip-hop culture. No one will ever be defined as a chemist.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, it depends on the street chemist.
Oh, it doesn't matter, Twitty, or whatever your name is, dude. It really doesn't matter to me what you... because Mr. in the street so deep, I don't see why you don't get that one.
Okay. They have an inside joke going on, Big Kenny. We missed on it.
Yes. Yes. Sorry about that.
Over there playing in their little
Okay, back to what you were saying. I apologize.
No problem.
I apologize.
No problem at all. But I'm quite sure, as I said, this will be a story of the week. And Jerry Buss, whatever they say about him, you're always judged by what you do. And he have the accolades to be, I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame, but I'm quite sure he will be a Hall of Fame type owner. And our condolences go out to him and his family. I don't know how many kids. We only ever heard of his daughter.
The married Phil Jackson, right?
Yeah, Jenny.
Yeah.
So I'm quite sure he might have other kids, but that's the only one that we ever kind of heard of in the public eye.
Who do you think is going to run the Lakers now?
I think she was next in line to run.
Do you think that's like if she runs it, then it's really Phil running it?
I'm quite sure she will listen to the things that he has to say for what he's done for that team. And I'm quite sure that Mitch Kupchak was calling Phil.
Right.
You don't let that type of influence leave without making a connection and maybe trusting him on some decisions and coaching and those kind of things.
And I'm sure if your father owns a team like the Lakers since '79, then you probably have a wealth of basketball knowledge yourself.
Right.
She probably knows a lot more about the game than people would give her credit.
Well, I think that's why we know her, that she
Right.
was the one of his siblings that, one of his children that was around the team.
Right.
Yeah, he did have six children.
He had 6 children?
Total 6.
Oh, okay. Well, but she was the one that we always knew
Yes.
dealing with the Lakers, so I'm quite sure she's going to take over the management and the ownership. And we don't know how the team, we know he was the primary owner. I don't know if he was the sole owner. Most teams are owned by at least 2 or 3 people. I'm quite sure he had a majority stake in the team because it was his team. But once again, from the Sports Jock Show to the Buss family, our condolences. And we're going to go to break. We come back and talk to Todd Harris, Major League Baseball scout. We'll be right back with more of the Sports Jock Show.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
The Sports Jock Show is giving you a chance to win and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Jock.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjock.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Jock will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad. Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact, you haven't heard the Sports Jock Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th. So log on, sign up with the Sports Jock wake-up call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjock.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy. It is mid-February, which means that Major League Baseball spring training is in full motion. I know some of the spring training games start this weekend, so ladies and gentlemen, baseball is back. I know you have been missing it. Football season ends, baseball season starts as usual, and when we want to talk baseball here on the Sports Jock Show, we always reach out to LA Dodger scout Mr. Todd Harris. Todd, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing today, Big Wayne?
I'm doing good. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Well, let's start with the big dogs, the New York Yankees. We always have to start with the evil empire. They are back in business once again. Derek Jeter, recovering from his left ankle, had a news conference this week. He was calling his offseason one of the most terrible off seasons he's ever had.
And I think the reason why I guess he's saying that, I think it may be because rarely does Derek Jeter kind of speak, and I guess when he does speak, I guess it sends out shock waves across the planet, I guess. But he probably because he was immobilized most of the off season, he wasn't able to do pretty much anything just because, I mean, obviously when you have an ankle injury just like he had a pretty bad one at the end of the year, I mean, he was probably immobilized for probably 2 or 3 months there where he realistically couldn't do any training, anything that he kind of wanted to do. So I think that's kind of what he meant by the worst probably off season that he's ever had because, as you know, Derek Jeter's kind of normally used to doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And so I guess that's probably the big reason and the big thing why he made those comments this weekend.
And I can contest to understanding having that major injury, something like that, when you're in your latter years. You only have a year or two left. And then something like that happens. It happened to me in year 14. And so you kind of, that whole time you're rehabbing and you're dealing with being older, things just are not happening fast enough.
You're exactly right about that because you know those glory days have kind of passed you, and now you pretty much just getting on by with all the knowledge that he has. I mean, he obviously is a professional, but like you said, he knows he has about another year or two. Most likely, I think this is probably going to be his last year. I know he's got another year after this year, but I just don't see him playing at the level that Derek Jeter's kind of always played at. And he's not the kind of guy I don't think is going to just hang around just for the sake of hanging around. And when you're 38, 40 years old, that body starts to get a little old.
Yeah, he'd be 39 about mid-season of this year. Moving on down here to Atlanta, we lost one of our key players. Mr. Bourne left, went up to Cleveland, 4 years, $48 million. Was it the money that Atlanta couldn't keep him, or they just wanted to go in another direction in Michael Bourne?
I think it was a combination of both. I think originally Michael Bourne was asking for a lot more money than he ended up selling with Cleveland. I think when he first hit the free agency market, I think he was asking for anywhere from $14 to $15 million kind of range, and that's a ton of money for a guy like Michael Bourne, who I think is an exceptional outfielder and base stealer and some of those other things. But I think originally when he first wanted his deal, I think he wanted it to be a little bit. So I thought Washington was kind of on him for a little while, but again, that money was a little bit too high for both of those teams. And I think they kind of wanted to go in a different direction as far as you kind of see. I think they're starting to build their team around power and trying to hit home runs a little bit more instead of kind of trying to play for 1 or 2 run inning type situations. They want to play for the big innings, and that's why I think they went out and got the Upton brothers, who I think bring a little more pop in the lineup, if you call it. Just because of losing Chipper Jones, you're going to need to replace that with some offense, and I think those guys can hit the long ball a little bit better, obviously, than Michael Bourne.
Speaking of Michaels, Mike Piazza, one of the former Dodgers, came out this week and admitted to using PEDs. Wow, shocking. I know. I would have never thought that, but Do you think why is he coming out? Is it because he got a book coming out, or is it just he hopes that by coming out it will help him get in the Hall of Fame? Why would you say he made this move now?
I think obviously the book deal. I think he kind of knows that that's pretty much going to sell itself, and I think he's been on that list. I don't think anybody's really talked about him as far as being on that steroid use list, as far as PEDs and some of those things. He was always on the list, but his name realistically didn't get brought up, like, because you got guys like Barry Bonds and obviously Clemens that kind of overshadow him a little bit. And even though he was a great player, but those guys are going to dominate the PEDs and the steroid era. So I think his name kind of got pushed back a little, and I think he's kind of admitting it as well. So because he's trying to get in the Hall of Fame at this particular time, and I think by him going ahead and admitting it, as well as having this book deal coming out, I think it's kind of a win-win situation for him on both ends as far as that. Because, again, his name is being brought up, and I think that's why he's got such few votes that he has, and I think he's figuring, hey, I better go ahead and admit this, and I think in a couple more years that kind of get over it and kind of hopefully put him in the Hall of Fame a little bit later on.
Well, the Dodgers, you got your management, your ownership, all that's out the way from last year. You made some big moves in the offseason. Is this the year that the Dodgers make their move, Todd?
I actually think it is their year. Don't get me wrong. I think the Giants are going to battle them tooth and nail all the way down to the end because, the Giants have a ton of pitching. And it's hard to kind of compete against a ton of pitching that they have. But I think the new addition, Greinke, as far as on their pitching staff, I think it solidifies it. And I think Billingsley and those other guys, I just think it really solidifies. And Kershaw, who's their number one and probably the best left-handed pitcher in baseball, if not the best pitcher, I think it's going to solidify that staff. And then you got guys like Josh Beckett, really can be your third or fourth guy and really go out and kind of not really feel like he has to live up to the expectations, but just go out and pitch and do what he does best. I think Carl Crawford, with that addition, he's a California guy, I think, and obviously I think that's going to help him as far as sitting out majority all last year and really rehabbing. I think he's going to have a pretty good breakout year as well. But I do think the Dodgers are going to come away in the National League West and actually make a World Series appearance, if I had to say today.
See, that's why he keeps his job with the Dodgers. 'Cause Magic heard him, and he ready now. Magic promised a championship. Real quickly, speaking of pitching, I'm going to let you go, Todd. Whatever happened to that great Philadelphia pitching staff? Are they still together?
They are, but again, I think Holiday and some of those guys, I think what happened was I think they got Holiday pretty much towards the end of his prime, and I do think they do have still a pretty good solid staff, but at one time I think Holiday was probably one of the most dominant pitchers in the game, and I think he kind of has stepped off a little bit, and I think it's come down to reality. And plus, like you always say, the age factor is always going to get a pitcher quicker than it will a position-type guy. So I just think that he couldn't pitch at that level, at the level he had pitched at the first year or so in his contract with Philadelphia. I think he's still a good pitcher, but I don't think he's a dominant pitcher, which they need with that club, which also the Cliff Lee deal, again, I think it was a deal more or less kind of, he just got hot for 1 or 2 years, extremely hot, and I just don't think that he's a dominant pitcher. I think he has a mid to decent fastball, but I think his breaking stuff now, guys are just sitting on a little bit more and kind of waiting for that and kind of driving the baseball against him. So I don't think that staff is as dominating as it was 2-3 years ago.
Well, Todd, thank you for calling in, helping the Sports Jock Show out with the baseball report. I wrote down the Dodgers, so we're going to see.
Baby.
This is their year this time for real. This
is their time for real.
For real this time. This year for real. This is their
Too much money, baby. Too much money not to be.
Todd Harris, LA Dodger scout. Thank you, Todd, for calling in. Baseball season is here, Big Kenny. The only other thing, and we're going to talk about a little quick note, the Braves, just like the Redskins, have been catching flack about their name. You know, we talked about this earlier, the Redskins.
Their mascot being
yeah,
Native American.
Yeah, they're really crucifying the Redskins for having that Redskin name, and they want them to be called the Red Washington something.
You said they're really crucifying, so now we got the racial and the religious people on. Wow. Now they're really on us.
The Braves have done something similar as well. They were going to go with the screaming brave Indian on the top of the hat. They nixed that too, based on public opinion. They don't want them to have the Indian screaming on the hat. Are we just too sensitive?
What is it now?
Well, it's just an A, but they were going to put the, you know, when they first started, that old, like the Brave is yelling symbol back on the hat, but they saying
I don't know. I mean, if it were like a black dude on the hat waving a big, huge drumstick, you know what I'm saying? How would we feel about that? You know what I mean? Maybe we're looking at it from the wrong perspective. Yeah.
There was a team, the Atlanta Black Crackers.
Hey, that's
Negro League baseball.
Okay,
So.
and they're not around anymore. So.
No, of course.
We'll be back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
It's getting close to the end. What did you expect? Members only jacket with a scarf around my neck. Life is so short, world too brittle. Fitted cap Levi's.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Sassy! Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick. That's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions,
How high can you jump?
but you don't have to know every answer,
How many phone numbers are there?
because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
The Sports Jock Show is giving you a chance to win, and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Jock.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjock.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Jock will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
Your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad. Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact. You haven't heard the Sports Jock Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th. So log on, sign up with the Sports Jock wake-up call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjock.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy. We'd like to thank LA Dodgers scout Todd Harris for calling in. Go Dodgers, as Todd said. The Dodgers do have a good roster. Picked up some nice pieces in the offseason, so it'll be exciting to see. We did report to you a little earlier that Lakers owner Jerry Buss has passed away at the age of 79. Condolences to his family. We do have some big birthdays in the world of sports. Legendary stars aging in the world of sports as we report. Well, first of all, the good producer once again, his 46th birthday. Derek Johnson was last week. He say 46. I'm thinking 47, but I'll deal with the 46 right now. Michael Jordan had his 50th birthday, as we talked about early in the show. Arsenio Hall, 57. 57. Josh Brolin, 45. Christina Ricci, 33. Michael McDonald, 61. Peter Gabriel, 63. Florence Henderson. What was that show she was on, Florence Henderson? Brady Bunch?
She was the Brady Bunch, yeah.
Was it Brady Bunch?
Mama.
79 years old. Paris Hilton had her 32nd birthday. Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her done.
That's your name, Larry the Cable
Larry the
Guy.
Cable Guy.
Love her.
50 years old. Producer, director Michael Bay, 48. John Travolta had his 58th birthday.
Again?
The never-aging Vanna White, 55 years old.
Wow.
Never aging.
Wow.
Never.
Yeah.
She got to be at least 62, but she's still 55. Jillian Michaels, 38 years old. Brian Williams had his 44th birthday, a.k.a. the Birdman. Birdman is 44 now.
You talking about Birdman from Denver or Birdman fly so high, baby, cash money.
Cash money.
You said, wait. You said
44 years old.
That's
about
it.
right.
Oh, again.
That's it.
No, I would give him about 44, 45.
All right.
Okie dokie.
All right, and just join the gang. Okay. All right.
Oh, man. Rob Thomas, 41. Simon Pegg, 43. Mayor of New York, Michael Bloomberg, 71. Ice-T had his 55th birthday. 55, Ice-T. Rap stars are getting old. Lupe Fiasco, 31.
Did you see that dude at the Grammys?
Lupe Fiasco?
Yeah, what he was wearing. This dude is, I don't know what he's using, but he's taking way too much.
It's too much of it.
Whatever it is way too much of it.
Oh, James Ingram, 57. A lot of 57s on here.
Really? And that's it? James Ingram, really? 57? Come on, James Ingram.
You ain't buying that either?
No, man. James Ingram was 48 years old and 79.
Wow, yes. Seems like it.
57 years old. Denise Richards, 41. Renee Russo, 59. Jules Santana, 29. Yoko Ono, 79 years old. Molly Ringwald, 44. Sybil Shepherd, 62. Nah, that's the one I got a problem with. Sybil Shepherd. Got to be 68. LeVar Burton, 56. Robert Griffin III had his 23rd birthday. RG3. Bill Russell. We talked about Bill Russell and his ring. 79 years old. Looked real healthy last night at the game. Randy Moss had his 36th birthday. Maybe the greatest college basketball coach of all time, Mike Krzyzewski, 66 of the Duke Blue Devils. Drew Bledsoe, 41. Jim Kelly, Buffalo Bills, 53 years old. Darryl Green, Washington Redskins, Darryl Green, 53 years old. Mark Price, point guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers back in the day, 49. John McEnroe. Anybody want to take a guess? John
McEnroe's 61.
54. John McEnroe. You was close over there. Bad producer. Ahman Green, 36. The great Jim Brown, 77 years old. Jim Brown.
And could still beat up any 25-year-old football player today.
Still wearing that African green red hat that he always wears. Buddy Ryan, the father of Rob and Rex, 82. Dennis Green, 64. My man, Jerome the Bus Bettis, had his 41st birthday last week. And Dr. Dre, Anybody want to take a stab at Dr. Dre?
Dr. Dre is 41.
No, about 48.
47.
I was see.
Dr. Dre, 47. Y'all sure that's about right too?
Yeah, I mean, he may be more 50, but he will go with 47.
And you're not buying Birdman at 44.
Nope.
No.
He did.
Baby, them from down that way. Mm-mm.
And so what y'all getting Birdman, just so I know?
About 50.
I get Birdman 50, 51.
Really?
Yes.
They usually only lie 2-3 years. Y'all gave the man a whole 7 years.
He got that Geechee stuff working for him. Yeah, down there. Yeah.
Oh, those are the birthdays for this week. What is that y'all got on there?
Jason on Ustream chat asks, what is on the Sports Jock t-shirt? Can't make it out on the screen. Is it LeBron?
No, this is Michael Jordan, the early years.
Yes.
Right before he lost all his hair there, Jason. We'll be back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Hey, over here.
What?
Right here in the back.
Where?
Over by the fence.
You? The bike?
Yeah, the bike. Right in the grass where the kids left me a while ago. You know how lonely it is being left day after day, not being able to cruise the reservation?
Pardon me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You told them, no, you kids go have fun, enjoy the outdoors, and be careful.
Yeah?
I really miss it, especially when they put that playing card in my spokes and I made a really cool sound the faster we went. Well, could you get my tires a little air, dust off my seat, and remind the kids how fun I still am?
Okay. Oh, you are dusty.
Yeah, and I may need a couple of bolts tightened too. Now let's go.
As Native American parents and caregivers, our encouragement to healthy lifestyles for our kids is helping them get outside and play. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov/Indian Country. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and...
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions,
How high can you jump?
but you don't have to know every answer
How many phone numbers are there?
because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Poker face, poker face.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. I'm sitting here with my co-host, the funny man, Big Kenny. And
yes.
And the tall lady.
Hello.
What is all that stuff on your phone over there?
It's a case, actually.
Uh-oh.
You know, I have the old antiquated telephone. So
antiquated.
Antiquated.
Okay.
Behind the times. And and antiquity over here. And in order to save my phone, the nice gentleman at the phone store put a case on it. And he said
a bejeweled case.
Yes, and he gave it to me for free because he said people had not bought this phone in over a year, so he had cases to spare.
Oh, gave you a free case.
Gave me a free case because he told me I needed to upgrade.
Okay. Ladies first.
Whatever. You asked, I gave you the answer.
You gave me an answer, I think.
Yes. You asked what it was.
Well, the Daytona 500 is coming this weekend. The big race is upon us, and when we want to talk NASCAR, we always love to get our man Doug Fireball Turnbull on the line. Fireball, are you there?
Oh, yeah, Ball So Hard, man. How's it going?
Ball So Hard. That's what you must have had on the radio this morning. I know you don't have that CD.
I don't have that CD, but I really do like. I really do like the Throne. The couple songs I've heard off of it, and I always use the hashtag. Ball so hard when something good's going on. So I know that's not exactly what it means, but that's what I use it for. And all these older people ask me what it means. I think I'm talking about something dirty, and that's not. But so anyway, that's kind of how that goes.
Terrible about that life.
He's about that life, I can tell.
That's right.
Well, Doug, we wanted to get you on, and we hope to get you next week after the race so you can break
absolutely.
it down. But real quickly, not to hold you long this week, we just wanted to talk about Danica Patrick winning the Daytona pole. Now, I know the first woman to win the pole, and no one that has won the pole over the last 12, 13 years has won the race.
I've lost the audio of you guys, so I can't hear you.
That's usual around here. Can y'all get the audio back to Fireball? Hold on 1 second, Fireball. He said he can't hear me.
It's a telephone, gentleman.
Mr. Telephone Man. We calling him back right now.
When I dial my correspondent.
As we waiting on them to connect Fireball back, Danica Patrick has become the first woman to win a pole of any kind in any NASCAR race, which is big news, especially for, I guess, women.
For the racing world, it's big news, I guess. You think they let her pass? You think that?
That's what I was trying to figure out with Fireball. Do we have him back yet? Are we still searching for him? This is big news because, anytime something first come up, it's always great to report on it. And I think people have been waiting. The one thing we do know about Danica Patrick is the name is bigger than the accolades.
Yes.
Her accomplishments are not
right. She's the Anna Kournikova of track and field. She hasn't really. I mean, of NASCAR and car racing. Fireball, are you there? No. Well, we're gonna have to just get Doug on next week. Y'all can't.
My producers have a first name. It's BADASHELL. My producers have a second name. It's HORRIBLE. Oh, I hate them almost every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say,
oh gosh.
Because the bad producers have a way of messing up the Sports Jock Show today.
Is the connection? Is the 2, 1. Fireball, are you there?
Yes, sir, man. But I was unable to hear you. I knew I was still connected, but somehow the
problem
dropped out.
No problem. Just real quickly, can you tell us the impact, if any, of Danica Patrick winning the pole at Daytona?
Huge impact in terms of the amount of exposure that NASCAR is going to get now. The second story on SportsCenter, besides Jerry Buss, the Lakers owner, dying at age 80 today, is Danica Patrick, really. I mean, it's eclipsed everything else. It's not just because she's the first woman to win a pole in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, but it's that she did so in NASCAR's biggest race, the Daytona 500, and she's one of the biggest sports, really, but one of the most famous athletes in America, and one of the biggest sports and athletes in all of auto racing worldwide. And so you combine all of that celebrity with the historical factor there and the big race. You can't. It's going to have an impact. Now, I'll tell you this, and I know you wanted me to be quick. A pole at Daytona does not require the same as a pole would at another track, and also a pole at Daytona is not as important as having a pole at another track in terms of the impact on the race itself. The cars all run about the same speed at Daytona. I'm not saying anything bad about Danica's driving ability, but, she had a fast race car. She had the wind going in her favor, I think, and that's what allowed her to be just that much quick, and she did everything right on her end. So that's how she got that pole.
Well, when you look at this situation, and I'm going to play conspiracy theorist, is this NASCAR really using this to draw more people to watch?
That no one's ever going to say that for sure. I mean, but there's, as soon as it happened, someone tweeted at me or texted me or something and immediately said, "Oh, I wonder what NASCAR did to do that." And hey, who knows? That might happen. I have no evidence that it does. I'm not inspecting the race cars.
No, I'm not claiming NASCAR of fixing any race as far as, because I think they would never do anything like that. I think I'm saying to, the Oscars are Sunday. We want everybody to watch this. Is this a way for them letting Danica win to bring more eyes to see her from the jump, see the race from the jump?
Well, I don't think there's any evidence that anybody let her get the pole, but there are people that think, just like how Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the pole 2 years ago for the Daytona 500, 2 years ago, which was 10 years to the day of his dad passing away. Which, by the way, today is the 12th anniversary of Dale Earnhardt Sr. passing away in the Daytona 500. Some people thought, that's a big storyline. NASCAR wanted to drum up some interest, and so they let the 88 team get away with it. Here's the argument I'd have against it, Sports Jock, and that's that Danica's two teammates, Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman, were third and fourth in qualifying, and she just beat them by a little bit. They had virtually identical laps. I don't think there was any kind of hijinks. I just think at Daytona, almost every car is the same, and Danica was lucky enough to get there. But it sure is interesting that in her first full Cup season, here she is, boom, straight to the pole in the first, in her second Daytona 500, and at a time when NASCAR's really trying to bust through with their new race car. I mean, it's easy to write that. Who knows? No one can prove it.
Well, Fireball, sorry for the audio issues. We will get you on next week and let you tell us about the winners, the losers, and the fights, and whatever else happened at Daytona.
I'll be in the middle of it right down in Daytona Beach, so I look forward to talking to you.
All right, Fireball. Doug Fireball Turnbull, NASCAR Report. We'll be right back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
Tyson, Jordan, Game 6, also hard, got a broke clock, rollies that don't tick-tock, all the Mars that's...
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Hello, and welcome to today's lottery drawing. Good luck. And here's today's winning numbers. First one up, it's not yours. Second one, not yours. And another number that's not yours. Okay, this is one number that's yours. It's a 5, but you don't get any money for that. And the final number is not yours.
Yep, so chances are you're not going to hit the lottery anytime soon. Don't get us wrong, the lottery can be fun every now and then. Just please don't rely on it for your future savings. How about this? Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte every day. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Ride your bike instead of buying all that gas. These changes alone can save you thousands a year. Thousands. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feed that piggy bank. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Hey, over here.
What?
Right here, on the side of the house.
Who said that?
Look down. I'm right at your feet.
Wait, the basketball?
Yes, the basketball. Right down here, where the kids left me a long time ago. Man, you know how lonely it is being a ball and not being able to bounce or roll?
Excuse me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You said, now kids, you have no excuse not to go outside and play.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I'll miss flying through the air and hearing the shouts of joy when I swish through the basket. What do you say? Could you give me a little air and remind the kids of how fun I still am?
Okay. Oh, wow. You are flat.
Easy. I'm ticklish. Let's get bouncing.
As Native American parents and caregivers, our encouragement to healthy lifestyles for our kids is helping them get outside and play. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov/Indian Country. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. We'd like to thank Doug Fireball Turnbull for calling in to the show. Safe travels down to Daytona there, Fireball. Can't wait to speak to you next week about the Daytona 500, which is coming this Sunday. Danica Patrick won the pole. As I said, here in Atlanta, the Heat will be invading Phillips Arena on Wednesday. NBA goes back to work on Wednesday. About 30 games left in the regular season. Trade deadline is also Thursday. Our man Sekou Smith says he doesn't really see a lot of action happening. Be interesting to see what happens. If you've been following the Sports Jock Show for the last couple of weeks, you know the Sports Jock has been dedicating his week to find people that are about that life. So you'll know what I mean about that life. Let me give you the definition in the words of Steven Jackson about that life.
If you're not about that life, then stop speaking on it. About that life basically means being who you are, not trying to be somebody who you're not. Staying in your lane, being the same person you was when your mom was changing your diapers and not changing because money don't make you about that life. Getting shot doesn't make you about that life. Being a man and taking care of your responsibilities and doing what you're supposed to do as a man makes you about that life, and everybody ain't about that life.
As you know, last week, we had the Notre Dame hockey player kicking the manager. We let our two co-hosts vote if they are about that life, the individual or not. Last week they did pass him to be about that life after kicking the 35-year-old female in the face.
He's actually up for About That Life Hall of Fame. He's going his first round ballot too. He's first rounder.
So they are the judges on this. And this week, at the beginning of last week, there were 4 Alabama players up in Tuscaloosa. DJ Pettaway, Tyler Hayes, Brent Calloway, and Eddie Williams all for some reason or not, 3 of them robbery, 1 of them credit card fraud. Since then, 3 have been barred from campus. Eddie Williams, Tyler Hayes, and DJ Pettaway. They had high bonds too. They was $65,000, which lets you know this is not something that even Nick Saban is going to be able to sweep under the rug. All that being said, one of these gentlemen, in my opinion, young man, defensive back, Eddie Williams, 20 years old, he seems to be about that life. He partaked in all the criminal activities. The night before the robbery, Mr. Williams was pulled over for pulling a gun on a gas clerk. He didn't want to pay for the gas. He let the gas clerk know he didn't want to pay for the gas. He pulled a gun out. The next day, he joined Mr. Hayes and Mr. Pettaway in robbery. They knocked 2 students unconscious and stole their wallets. He finished his hat trick, as they call it in hockey, the next day by joining Mr. Calloway in using a stolen credit card. Big Kenny.
What did he purchase with the stolen credit card?
He purchased some items out of the vending machine in the dorm.
Roll down Tide.
That's what they stole the credit card to get some snacks out of the vending machine in the dorm. So Mr. Williams.
The Alabama Booster Club should be embarrassed. You guys really need to start putting some more money under the table at Alabama.
So just make sure you understand Mr. Williams is charged with 2nd-degree robbery.
Okay.
He is also charged with credit card fraud.
Okay.
And he is also charged with carrying a pistol without a permit.
Which is bad.
Roll down Tide.
So, is Mr. Williams about that life?
Oh, he's
or
I think
not?
It sounds like he's been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto or Saints Row or some video game of that type. I don't really know if he's really about that life because he seems to be about being stupid. That is a whole.
Let me tell you something.
Maybe he didn't get away with a lot of stuff until
when the police bounce you out on Thursday night for pulling a pistol on a gas station clerk.
He got locked up for it?
And on
Yes, he got arrested.
on Saturday night, you out robbing people. You about that life.
Maybe he realized everything was over with.
Look, no, and then you get away with the robbery, and the next day you own some credit card fraud. That dude is about that life.
Okay.
He sounds like a future criminal, like a real
future criminal. He is
society.
a real-time criminal. This dude is not waiting. He's not training. This ain't camp. This dude is a real-life criminal, brandishing weapons, knocking people out. This he's headed for prison.
Sound like a video game to me.
Yeah.
He headed for many years in prison.
I will.
Now,
I think
some
he's
got
about that
banned from
life.
campus. What did they do to him? Hopefully he's still locked up.
No, Eddie Williams, Tyler Hayes, and DJ Pettaway got banned.
Okay,
Barred from campus.
And what was the punishment
Brent
of
Calloway, he's still allowed to go to class. He just did the credit card, bought some snacks stuff. So.
It's not a permanent
We'll be
ban.
back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
Roll down tide.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd
on.
you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions,
How high can you jump?
but you don't have to know every answer
How many phone numbers are there?
because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
The Sports Jock Show is giving you a chance to win and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Jock.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjock.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Jock will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
Your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad. Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact. You haven't heard the Sports Jock Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th. So log on, sign up with the Sports Jock wake-up call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjock.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
The truth is, he will throw your ass in the ocean. It's time to wrap things up on the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy, and when you hear the sounds of the ocean, it means that the Sports Jock Show is coming to an end. As always, we like to thank our guests for calling in, NBA.com, NBA TV, Mr. Sekou Smith, Doug Fireball Turnbull, NASCAR, Mr. Todd Harris, LA Dodger Scout, for calling in for baseball. Thank you guys very much for taking your time to call into the Sports Jock Show. As we went to break, we do have a quick call on the line. Mike, are you there?
Yes, real quick. Good afternoon, Sports Jive.
Good afternoon.
I just got a comment for you real quick. I got you another guy from that Harvey Updike that pours in the trees there at your university. Speaking of that, what do you think about Barkley's antics this past week regarding those guys that did the robberies down there at Alabama University?
I know last night watching the game, he made a comment that I think he said Beyonce had bought Jay-Z a $5 million watch. And Jay-Z was standing up on the court at the game and made sure Jay-Z knew not to go to Tuscaloosa with that watch. I think that we were talking about the story. I thought it was very funny being an Auburn guy. I'm going to tell you the truth. But I guess the funny part about it is that we look at this story and just like we reported last week with the guy in Kansas, these guys, like Big Kenny was saying, these are true criminals now. These aren't like petty thieves. You know, in college, when I was in college, guys were trying to steal an extra sandwich or sneak into the movies. These Alabama guys, the three that got barred from campus, actually beat their victim. It wasn't like they just pushed him down and took his wallet. It was two different guys that they actually beat up and took their money and things like that. So this is real robbery. And this Eddie Williams guy, as we were talking about, he's shown that he's been arrested for a gun. He's been robbery, credit card fraud. And last week, as we reported, the guy, they pistol whipped the people in the apartment. And these are college athletes, and this is where it's going now. So I think Charles' comments were funny for the moment. I know I laughed at it, but this is a serious, and that's why we report on these stories, because some of these stories, they get a quick 30 seconds, and we're not really gravitating and understanding what is really going on with these college students. I will say this. I really believe, NCAA, that you need to bring back dorms for college football players and college basketball players. I really think so. I know you got rid of the dorms back in the mid-'90s. I was a product of the dorm, and it gave you a little more of a safe haven. It gave coaches a way of keeping a little better eye on you. It gave you a little bit more of the structure that you need. I know that the student body and everybody is like, oh, they should be treated just like regular students. Well, they're not. They're producing money. And like any 18, 19, 20-year-old to be on campus, most of you were not known. If you're Cam Newton, that means that 25,000 students plus the teachers plus the custodians and plus everybody else knew who you were, the whole town. Most of the students on campus, maybe if 10 people know you, you know, then you're lucky. So when you walk around that, and we can sit here and say, oh, well, you try to handle that at 18, 19, that kind of celebrity, that kind of fame. People, you keep kids, they still are kids, and they start trying, like we say, to obtain things, to look the image, play a part. And I just think that if you bring the dorms back, it will give them a little more sense. I don't know how you two might feel on that. It would just give them a little more structure and let the coaches keep a better eye on them. Big
Curfew,
Kenny.
things of that nature can be followed through a little bit better.
Right.
I was a product of the athletic dorm, and I think it's a great place for athletes.
Yeah,
There's
think
10 of you on a basketball, 12 of you on a basketball team, and every student knows your name, even if you're sitting on the bench.
Right. And Big Kenny.
And maybe there's somebody that's in the dorm that may be the voice of reason, where 3 of them might go along. There may be 2 that may say, hey, man, I think that's a bad idea, because I lived in both the dorms and lived off campus, and you wouldn't believe the amount of crimes I committed living off campus. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous, the amount of crime I committed
city was
outside
that?
the dorm. So.
And I always say, Big Kenny, as well about that, and I'm quite sure we'll talk about this more in the future. In the dorms, a guy used to smoke weed. You got these kids outside the dorm. They actually selling the weed now. You didn't used to sell the weed. You just smoked it back in college. These kids now.
Transporting it, all kind of stuff. Yeah, they really into it now.
Well, real quickly, this is this Ocean segment, the end of the show. It gives the sports jock a time to vent. The NFL Combine is coming up at the end of the month. That's when about 300 kids get to go up to Indianapolis and show their physical and mental skills. And that's where the sports jock wants to murder the NFL. You're adding another aptitude test. Really? Are you really trying to sell the public that you're drafting people based on their, is it hot or cold? What is your response to when I say light, you say what? Come on, man. You already had the Wonderlic, 50 questions, 12 minutes. Ray Lewis scored a 13 on it, played 17 years. Alex Smith can barely get on the field, and he scored almost a perfect score. So what are you really learning from the Wonderlic? And now you're going to add another test to some guys that didn't take the first college test, the SAT. Some of them just got into school. Get real, Roger Goodell. I know you made $30 million last year, but adding another test and then letting people know, how idiotic does that sound? So, bad producer.
Walk the plank.
And real quickly before we go, bad producer, throw yourself in the ocean too for telling me that Tucci came from Lil Wayne being in jail. You said that last week. Do you want me to really have a segment next week on how you told me it came from being in jail? Really? Okay, that's what I'm going to do.
That's when he did his Twitter announcement. Yeah, he announced Tucci when he went to jail.
Make sure you save me 5 minutes next week to throw him in the ocean at the beginning of the show. For the funny man, Big Kenny. See, it's messing up over there. Can't even get that. The tall lady, the Sports Jock Show. We'll see you next Monday. Tucci.
We like this. Deuce.
I've been trying to do